Lauderdale County Circuit Clerk Donna Jill Johnson says that's not surprising because historically turnout is low for special elections. In fact, she says over 10,000 people are eligible to vote, but there's also over 30,000 people that can't vote. I'm investigating several issues, including school violence, sex on campus, and drugs. Guardian Angels of Meridian is forced to close its doors. 20 residents have already left. There's 70 more to go, and hundreds of employees will be displaced, and it's been a back and forth battle. It's been very busy, very hectic back here. In fact, the top 10 finalists, they were scrambling, they were hustling. Officer Strait did not take the stand while I was present. However, he has proclaimed his innocence throughout this case. County crews had to clean up at least 30 illegal dump sites like this one. Severe weather threatens again. I'm Tametria Conner. I'll tell you what local officials are doing to prepare. I'm surprised no one was injured at the home of Lynette Sorrell. And as of 9 o'clock tonight, I'm told there are about 150 people now at the shelter, and officials expect at least another 100 by midnight. This clunker that you see behind me would normally carry a $500 trade-in value, but now that has increased to almost $4,000. Many Americans are wondering if Obama's presidency will live up to its expectations and what is his first priority. Most say it will be the economy, and they are hoping that Obama will be able to turn a tough situation into a good ending. Good evening, I'm Tametria Conner. We begin tonight with news out of Prentiss. Jefferson Davis County authorities are continuing to search for clues after finding an elderly couple dead in their home yesterday. Well, the search is continuing for a missing teen who has not been seen for several months. A Philadelphia police officer has resigned after allegedly committing a crime. Finally, this morning, it was a beautiful day yesterday to spend some time outside. Well, the University of Alabama system will have a lot less money next school year. That's according to university officials. The University of Alabama system faces a $130 million cut in state appropriations for the 2009-2010 school year. The news came Friday, and officials say overall the system will likely see its state funding reduced by nearly a quarter compared to a year ago. The U.S. Department of Energy said that Mississippi would get about $20 million in federal stimulus money to help make homes more energy efficient. Good morning, I'm Tametria Conner. Topping our news this morning, Meridian police are continuing to search for a suspect involved in a shooting. And in Pascagoula, a toddler's drowning death has been ruled accidental. 3 young people are dead and another injured today after gunmen opened fire. Last night, we were able to catch up with the 2 contenders, and both seemed excited about this upcoming runoff election. Here's more. After many complaints to the city.
This has been going on for probably 10 years.
And even complaints with the Department of Environmental Quality.
I can't do anything. I can't hire a plumber to come out here and fix this.
David Hamilton is at a dead end.
Have been told lots of stories, don't have the funds, thought it was repaired, but as you can see, nothing's happened.
Hamilton is the owner of the Best Western Hotel of Meridian, and just behind the hotel on Sawashi Street is this manhole. Hamilton says water and raw sewage backs all the way into the laundry room and even rooms when it rains. He says crews have repaired the street but missed the obvious problem.
I've had to refund money from rooms where people checked out because their toilets didn't work.
This is Hamilton's footage he captured on his camcorder of all the trash. Public Works Director Monty Jackson says he's well aware of the situation and says the city is still trying to determine the cause of the problem. But Hamilton says he's at the mercy of the city and the state, and his hands are tied.
This is something the city has to come and do.
In Meridian, Tametria Conner, News Center 11.
It's something like you would see on TV, not something you would see in person.
It happened a little after midnight.
It scared me. Bad.
Philadelphia Police Chief Richard Sistrunk says 2 teen boys rammed into 2 homes and damaged portions of them. One house on Loper Street and the other right around the corner.
It went through a yard, hit a couple of trees, hit a corner house, bounced off of it, and then actually went into the back of this last house where it came to rest.
Sistrunk says it was a 13-year-old driver and a 15-year-old passenger that caused thousands of dollars in property damage.
I heard a big booming sound.
A.J. Bowler, along with his 6 other relatives, including his small children, live in this house that suffered the most damage. He says they were all inside when it happened.
And my cousin, she was hollering and calling my name, so I jumped up. And that's next thing I know, I looked up, I seen the car inside the utility room.
Bowler says luckily no one was injured, but they are without electricity and conditions are unlivable. He says the Red Cross has provided temporary hotel stay for his family. Sistrunk says the vehicle has been impounded and the teens were released to their parents, but he says they could face charges and be sent to the juvenile center. Bowler says he plans on filing charges. He hopes soon their family can be back together, safe again in their home.
To see what's going to happen and get this fixed.
In Philadelphia, Tametria Conner, News Center 11.
This is the 3rd time.
In how long?
In less than a week.
Melanie Wilder is emotionally torn after 3 juveniles burglarized her home on 35th Street in Meridian.
And my house is torn completely up.
Nervous, helpless, violated, and confused. All words that describe the way she felt.
And I don't have anybody to help me clean it up, put it back together. It's something these kids have done to somebody that's never done anything to them.
Wilder says she's seen the suspects watching her house before, and they broke in on Sunday and Thursday too. She says they broke down her door the last times, but this time they came in through the kitchen window. She says she was luckily not at home at any of those times.
But I tried to catch them in, but today I caught them.
But if it were not for her next-door neighbor, Quentin Emerson, these juveniles may have struck again.
I knew what they were going to do. See, I'm suspicious of them because they broke in my house, too. And I was looking for them, too. So,
The same people?
They probably are the same people.
He saw the suspects and called 911.
And he's been over there watching out for me, and he's a great neighbor.
Police say the juveniles taken into custody were 13, 16, and 17. The neighbor who witnessed it all says all of Wilder's property was recovered except for some jewelry that may be still missing. Wilder says if this doesn't get the attention of officials, what will? But Emerson says he's not waiting for police. He's taking matters into his own hands.
But just stay away from my house if you're smart. Stay away from my house, because you will die.
And maybe this will become more important to the city of Meridian.
Everything was thrown out of it.
These images tell the story of a tragic church bus accident that killed 18-year-old Brandon Ugarte and injured 22 others, many suffering serious injuries.
All our children were on that bus.
It happened around 10 Sunday morning near mile marker 163 on Interstate 2059. First Baptist Church of Shreveport members were heading to a youth camp in Macon, Georgia. Pastor Greg Hunt of First Baptist Church says they are in desperate need of prayer for Maggie Lee Henson, one of the girls at the University Medical Center in Jackson. Henson is the daughter of the associate pastor who's fighting for her life after suffering severe head trauma injuries. The pastor says family and friends are trying to cope.
We're focusing our concern on them now, to throw our arms around them and love on them.
Pastor Hunt says word of the tragic bus accident came moments before the Sunday morning service, and he says members immediately turned to God in prayer.
It was a powerful display of the concern, the love, the faith.
But Hunt says it was the rapid response of crews like the Tumsuba Alamucha Volunteer Fire Department.
A minute or two after it was called in, we were there.
And a group of Alabama National Guardsmen seen here that made a heroic rescue.
They lifted the bus, which was on its side. There were 2 trapped underneath. There were many others in the bus who could not have gotten out.
The pastor says as they start the path to recovery, they are asking for your prayers. Hunt couldn't hold back the emotion as he reflected on the overwhelming expressions of love from Meridian residents.
The people of your community showed up, and we are grateful.
You seem to be getting a little choked up, Pastor.
Yeah, we are grateful beyond words.
In Meridian, Tametria Conner, News Center 11.
It was just such a hot fire, and it just went fast.
Flames are still burning and smoke is still seeping from the remains of the Hedgepeth house on Highway 494 in Little Rock. The house burned to the ground late Monday night.
Did what we could to try to prevent it, but it just went so fast. It was just nothing you really could do.
Lord knows for us all.
And the family says it's been rough these last few days as they are still trying to take it all in.
I don't know.
It's unexplainable, like a nightmare, a bad movie. I mean, you don't even want to look at it.
But it was real life, and this is all that's left of years of family history for the Hedgepeths. A house that's been passed down at least 3 generations, burned to the ground with no insurance. The couple and their 2 little girls had recently moved into the family home to save money. They were all inside when it happened and escaped unharmed.
I just want to thank God because we're still here.
This family home has been on this property for decades. Fire officials aren't really sure how the fire got started, but they do believe it's consistent with a truck fire. And the family says this truck and the utility room caught fire first. But what is evident is that the family lost everything, and it's going to be hard to pick up the pieces when there's nothing left.
We'll be fine. The Lord has a purpose, and He's going to see us through.